It's weird. Okay, here we go. Today's featured sustainable brown girl is Donnie Monk. She's an environmentally minded community planner. Donnie engages with different communities in upstate New York to vocalize non point pollution and other community environmental concerns. Donnie serves as the Community Outreach Director for Ecothot, also known as Thoughts Against Climate Change. It is such a pleasure to have you here today, Donnie.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to talk with you and meet you.
Yes, yes. I've been following you for a little while now, and your Instagram, like your personal Instagram, is just so refreshing. It's like a breath of fresh air to see someone who's like, like in the culture and cares about the environment. But before we get too deep into that, I always like to find out how you became interested in sustainability or environmentalism.
It started at a young age. I did a lot of science programs, and I guess the moment for me was when I worked with the Mayor Frank Jackson of Cleveland, and I took my first college course in environmental science in high school, and we basically went around and zoned the community, and we looked at community projects, and assessed whether or not it was good for our community or not, and that was for the inner city Cleveland kids. So what ended up happening is I got into college as a marketing major and was like, this is not what I'm passionate about. That internship for like a straight 3 summers like really shaped me into being more like passionate about my community. So I got involved at, in college level, I changed my major to sustainability. And then I hated the school, so I transferred out. And then I got really invested in it with my academics and just, I guess, my passion for people as well.
Yeah, wow. So, what school did you end up going to after you switched?
I just graduated from the State University of New York College of Environmental Science and Forestry. I was very drawn to it
Wow.
because it's the first environmental college. It was founded in 1911, and it's just really astonishing to like say, I got my degree from there.
Exactly. That's amazing. So, what are your goals now that you've graduated?
Well, I'm waiting right now. I have an interview opportunity to be a neighborhood planner with the city of Syracuse, and then possibly we have some opportunities in downstate New York. So we're definitely expanding with Ecothot, which is really exciting for
Yes.
us. Basically like environmental consulting with Ecothot. That's kind of what we're trying to go down the road of. So I mean, I'm
Okay.
waiting
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Tell us more about Ecothought. What is it and why did you start it?
Okay, so Ecothot, I didn't found it, but I did found a
Okay.
section within it, the upcycling portion of Ecothot and the educational portion of it. My fiance actually founded Ecothot. It was founded at our university. It was for fun at first, and then we started to get serious with it. It's really for a non-traditional environmentalist to have a community, no matter what background you're really coming from. We try not to specify. We try to be open for everyone, try to create an inclusive space. So yeah, like Ecothought kind of was founded just as a community based group for the school, and then it evolved out of the school when we got involved with the Adopt a Block program, and that's through Save the Raindrops. And basically we're picking up pollution in the local community, and we're taking that, like, some of that pollution, upcycling it, or we're like taking that pollution and properly disposing of it, and it's like partnered with the city of Syracuse. And that's kind of what it is now. And we do like a lot of upcycling, upcycle art. I've made candles out of beer bottles.
Wow.
We've literally take patches of clothes, and I think our biggest thing with Ecothot is like always be like economically affordable. We notice like there's a huge gap of affordable, sustainable options for people of color, and that's kind of like, and beyond that group even, it's a huge disparity of like sustainable resources. So we're just trying to bridge that like gap of providing that like quality sustainable lifestyle, but like with culture, I guess. So that's kind of what Ecothot is. It's pretty
Exactly. Yeah.
big.
Right. No, I love the culture part of it because uh, I guess the sustainability movement, like the forefront, kind of is like super white, and you mainly
Yeah.
just see this like box of sustainability. But to see you and your team put your own like spin on it is just, like I said, it's just so refreshing.
No, thank you.
So, how did your fiance, is he the one who came up with the name Ecothot?
Yeah.
Do you know how he came up with it?
Well, I feel like thought is well, how he came up with it. Man, I mean, it's pretty like it was one of those self-explanatory things where when you
Mhm.
have like these names, and I love what they're doing with the community, but like you have these brands, the names are like intersectional environmentalism, like it's a great brand, but like a lot of people like probably aren't looking those like things up on the everyday basis. So we wanted a name that was like comprehensible along like different like groups of people, and I feel like that name kind of came because it was clever and fun, but also because it's like culturally related to a group. But it could have a lot of backlash from it. But at the same time, it's not really a provocative word. It's just a phrase that can mean many things. So, we wanted people to associate us as like those environmentalists over there, and like just we're never gonna be like super traditional, but we're always gonna be doing something that's better in our community, and that's its own form of like a new environmentalism. That
Yes,
explains
I love it.
it.
I love it. So you mentioned earlier that you got involved with the city of Cleveland and the mayor, and I saw on the EcoThought Instagram that you helped organize the Syracuse cleanup conference, and the mayor of Syracuse showed up. So how do you go about organizing those types of events?
It's really fun. So you can do like community canvassing, or we take the social media approach because my fiance is really popular in school. He has a lot of people that for one will join us because everyone at the school is environmentalist, which makes it very easy to outreach to that group of
Right.
people. But outside of that group of people, and it's been like fun, like really get to like really getting to know this community because I'm not originally from Syracuse. So just meeting new people, and then just being like, hey, like I'm with this group and we like clean up every like we clean up bi-weekly in our neighborhood, and we meet at this place, and it's a playground, and we're just basically trying to beautify it, make sure those kids like have a safe space. And it's been honestly amazing, just going out and being very informal and very like sometimes even unintentional, and it just has a great result. It's always a great turnaround, and yeah, it's just all of the opportunities to meet new people in the city is just it's been a blessing.
Yeah. So when you organize these events, well, I saw on your website you have a calendar with your events, but are there other ways that you advertise for people to join?
Yeah, so it's this local coffee shop, Recess Coffee. We also have a couple other spaces that we just like kind of put our flyers up around the city. So just put the flyers up in the neighborhood. Recess Coffee, like they have this bulletin. Everybody goes there at least like once a week, or at least once every 3 weeks, once a month. So I feel like when we put in our like monthly calendar, people are able to like see that, and like it's bi-weekly, so they have the whole month, and they know the events we're doing, and like they can take a picture. We put business cards in there once, they're all gone like in a month. We put like stickers there, they're gone in like 2 days. So I just feel
Wow.
like that community really invest in us. So that's how we targeted. We try to stick with our community because we believe that when it comes to like true community change, and out of like a feeling of like quiescence with a lot of these climate change topics, it starts locally, to build your local strength and local community. So I guess for me, I focus locally on like my outreach.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that definitely
Yeah.
makes sense. Just getting different eyes on it, putting flyers in places that are frequently visited. That makes sense. How would you suggest to other people who wanted to create a similar program in their community? What advice would you give them?
Um, my advice would be to go for it. I'd say don't wait on politicians. Don't sign petitions. Like don't do these these little acts and expect a big change and big outcome. What I learned at my environmentally focused college is for true like environmental for a true environmental movement like out of like these like bad situations with our environment, like we need to like be the people that are making those changes. Like we're voting these people in. So, if we stop voting them in and like as, young advocates, as like young politicians, we need to like we need to stop letting them hold us back, and we need to start going out and getting the jobs. It's a lot
Yes.
of excuses, and a lot of people make a lot of things up, and with that like shading over the media, because people don't actually have an environmental degree. They don't actually know that like it's a job out there. But it's like, you're not just gonna like look up environmental studies job. You have to like find what you're comfortable with, and like, you know and balance that, and always be like evolving as as a brand, as a person. Never stay stagnant. I feel like, just if you can like evolve, and instead of stepping into communities and saying this is what I want to change, like listening to like what their needs are. I guess that's my advice
Exactly.
is what you really want to do, just listen first.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's like you said, don't wait on politicians because, we can do our part voting and stuff, but we can't rely on politicians to do their part, because they're just unreliable, So it's so important that we do go out and try to make a difference ourselves in our own communities.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
agree.
So, what is your vision for Ecothot going forward?
Oh yeah, our vision. So right now, we have a couple routes we're going. We have a cultural fair. So we're trying to get basically my outreach. I'm trying to expand the outreach. So we're going in the route of we're not going to do like Instagram infographics. We
Mhm.
don't roll like that. But
Yeah.
we're going to be creating like downloadable brochures and informationals like PDF for print, like crossword puzzles, possibly partnering with different people, possibly coloring books, just taking we're trying to like create a digital space that's really accessible for people. So kind of like these little like things that you grow up on like in the inner city, like in schools, like cool math, I feel like that might have been outside of my community, but like the sites that you went to as a kid that like had games and coloring books and things like that, like that's still a thing. And like we're trying to basically just expand it for environmentalism. And right now like we do have our game on there, and that's already getting worked on by different programmers, and that's like a team of like 3 people, which is great. And like we're trying to like basically hopefully get into like the LMS system. We're trying to really educate people. It's not just for show. I feel like, so for us as an evolving thing, just really taking our consulting down a more digital path, since everything went digital. You have to be with the time. And yeah,
Yes,
we
exactly.
also and like for fun, we're doing like a lot of Instagram filters. So right now we've been like creating filters, creating music just for fun, going down those routes, creating like a pathway for those things.
Yes, I love that. I saw your rap on Instagram. That was amazing. I just love that
Yes.
you're having fun with it.
I just see something and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, and I feel like my audience is growing from it. It's definitely slow, but it's because I am an honest soul, and like I don't like flatter my page. It is hard to grow as as micro of an influencer I am, but I do
Mhm.
hope one day I can like be influential. But with that crowd of people, it's going to always be hard with environmental communication. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I think that as time goes on, especially in the Black community, because kind of seems like we're a little bit slower moving towards environmentalism, but you make it so relatable that I think that you'll be able to get, a lot more people to be interested in what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, my last question for you is, what does it mean to you to be a sustainable brown girl?
Hmm. I'd like to, I guess, hmm. I was just talking about this. And I was thinking about a lot of things associated with sustainable. And I give, because of my background with education, I feel like I get very technical with it. So I guess when like, how I explain like sustainability and being a brown girl, I'd have to consider all components of sustainability, the people, the economy, and the environment. And I just don't think that it's something as simple as like buying like a sustainable like toothbrush. 'Cause I love my bamboo toothbrushes, but I do think it's more evolved, and I think that it's, when you're like being a sustainable brown girl, you're considering all of your like culture, all of your upbringings, and I feel like you're making it like work for you and also like for the planet and for other people. And if you can like create a lifestyle where you're combining all three of those things and like your culture number one, um I feel like that's how you can truly achieve like your like your feeling of that. I don't know. Like my
Yeah,
way is a
no, that
little
makes that
oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
no, yeah, I feel like my explanation's a little bit different because I I go by that true definition. But no, yeah, I felt like putting it into perspective, embracing like, even like taking like I don't even know, it's like upcycling your old like butter container, like it goes deep back into like black culture, like like those cookie tins and like putting pins and buttons in it, like I feel like that's a sustainable brown girl because it encompasses all three of those pieces, but it's not like you have to do this like one thing to be considered this. And I swear that's why I love your brands. Like you're very like you're all over the place with your branding. I love it. It's really like it's beautiful for like young women to see, and other women to be inspired by. It's truly inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
and definitely, I mean, likewise, I'm definitely inspired by you too. I love the way that you encompass culture and environmentalism, like I've been saying, and it's just so relatable. And I wish you the most success.
Thank you.
Now, tell us where everyone can find you online.
Oh, yes, yes. So my website's doing a renovation right now, so that's not gonna be up. But ecothot.com, we'd like people to check that out first, always, to see just what we're up to. Also, Earthy Donnie on Instagram. I don't get on Twitter, but you can follow that. And Facebook, we have Ecothot, and we have Instagram. We try to be on all platforms. And then, yeah, that's YouTube, Ecothot for any of our blogs. Yeah, that's how you can
Perfect.
find us.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Donnie. It was such a pleasure having you here.
No, thank you, Ariel, for having me. This was truly a pleasure.